You're about to discover the most played and best-selling Nintendo Switch 2 games right now in May 2026. Do not miss a single one. Starting strong at number 1, Mario Kart World is the undisputed king of the Nintendo Switch 2 library. Released on launch day, June 5th, 2025, this game redefines what a kart racer can be. It breaks away from the traditional cup-based structure and introduces an open-world map that connects every track seamlessly. Players can race through cities, deserts, and snowfields in one continuous journey. The roster is massive, online multiplayer is smooth, and the visuals push the Switch 2 hardware to its limits. With over 14.7 million copies sold as of March 2026, it is not just the best-selling Switch 2 game, but one of the fastest-selling Nintendo titles in history. Essential. Coming in at number 2, Donkey Kong Bananza is DK's biggest adventure in decades and absolutely worth the hype. Released July 17, 2025, this 3D platformer hands Donkey Kong a completely destructible world to smash through. Nearly every surface can be punched apart, tunneled through, or hurled at enemies. The level design rewards exploration and creativity, while the boss fights are massive and cinematic. It plays like a love letter to classic platformers, but with modern physics and visual fidelity that only the Switch 2 can deliver. Bananza earned widespread critical acclaim and moved over 4.5 million copies within its first several months on sale. Landing at number 3, Pokémon Legends ZA takes the bold open-world formula introduced in Arceus and plants it directly in the streets of Lumio City. Set before and during the events of Pokémon X and Y, players work alongside city developers to transform the city into a shared paradise for humans and Pokémon alike. The real-time combat system returns and feels tighter than ever, and the urban setting adds a fresh dynamic that sets it apart from every mainline entry before it. Both the original release and the Nintendo Switch 2 edition are on this list, reflecting how broadly loved this game has become since its October 2025 debut. Number 4 belongs to Pokémon Pokopia, the newest Pokémon title on this list and arguably the most creative entry the franchise has seen in years. Released March 5th, 2026, Pokopia is a sandbox survival game where players build habitats, manage ecosystems, and befriend wild Pokémon in a vast open environment. It borrows heavily from builder and simulation genres while staying true to the Pokémon identity. The depth here is remarkable, and the game has found fans well beyond the usual Pokémon audience. Nintendo confirmed over 4 million copies sold within just weeks of launch, making it one of the fastest starts for any Switch 2 exclusive. At number 5, Kirby Air Riders is the long-awaited follow-up to the beloved GameCube cult classic, Kirby Air Ride. Released November 20, 2025, the game brings back the one-button control philosophy, but layers in new ride customization, a revamped city trial mode, and online multiplayer that makes every session unpredictable and chaotic in the best possible way. The visual style is vibrant and smooth, running at a silky frame rate that makes even crashes look gorgeous. It has quietly built a dedicated fan base and continues selling steadily month after month since launch. Number 6 is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, a first-person action-adventure that ended one of gaming's longest development waits. Samus Aran returns with a new threat, new environments, and improved scanning mechanics that make exploration feel as rewarding as ever. The atmosphere is thick, the gunplay is precise, and the environmental storytelling is some of the best in the series. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition further enhances the experience with improved resolution and performance. This is a must-own for any fan of atmospheric sci-fi adventure games. Coming in at number 7, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment serves as a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom and fills in the mythology surrounding Rauru, Sonia, and the construction of ancient Hyrule. Released November 6, 2025, it adopts the Musou formula, where players cut through massive armies with stylish combo attacks. Each character plays differently, and the story missions are surprisingly rich in lore. For Zelda fans who wanted more context around the Tears of the Kingdom narrative, this game is a deeply satisfying expansion of that world. At number 8, Mario Tennis Fever shakes up the long-running series with a competitive ranked mode and a surprising amount of depth for newcomers and veterans alike. Released February 12, 2026, the game features a full single-player career, local multiplayer, and a strong online competitive scene. Shop variety and court types create genuine strategy, and the roster covers fan favorites alongside some welcome surprises. It plays fast, looks great, and has become a fixture at local gaming meetups since launch. Number 9 is Drag X Drive, a Nintendo original released November 18, 2025 that uses the Switch 2 mouse functionality in a genuinely clever way. Players control a wheelchair basketball team and navigate courts using the Joy-Con mouse controls to pass, dodge, and shoot. The sport itself is fictional, but the mechanics feel immediately intuitive and satisfying. It is a short game, but a memorable one, and it stands as one of the best showcases of what the Switch 2 hardware can do when developers think outside conventional design. Landing at number 10, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream finally brings back the beloved life simulation series after more than a decade. Released in early 2026, this follow-up drops players into an island populated by Mii characters who eat, argue, date, sing, and dream in hilariously unpredictable ways. The humor is absurdist and charming, and the game rewards daily check-ins with constant surprises. Nintendo confirmed over 3.8 million units in sell-through within just 2 weeks, making it one of the surprise commercial hits of the year. At number 11, Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition brings the critically acclaimed 2D platformer to new hardware with enhanced resolution, smoother performance, and the new Meet Up in Bella Bell Park social mode. Released March 26, 2026, it is the definitive way to experience one of the most creative Mario entries in years. The Wonder Flower mechanic that transforms each stage into something completely unexpected remains endlessly inventive, and the upgraded visuals make each world pop in ways the original Switch version could not fully achieve. Number 12 is Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, released January 15, 2026. Bringing the beloved island simulator to new hardware with visual enhancements, smoother frame rates, and quality of life updates. For fans still playing or returning after a break, the Switch 2 Edition adds enough polish to justify revisiting. The core loop of gathering, crafting, and decorating remains as meditative and satisfying as ever, and the improved performance makes the whole experience feel noticeably more refined. At number 13, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition makes the jump to Switch 2 with a comprehensive visual overhaul and the addition of substantial new story content. Originally a Wii U game that many players missed entirely, this massive open-world JRPG set on an alien planet finally reaches the audience it always deserved. The world of Mira is enormous, the mech combat system is deep, and the new content adds dozens of additional hours. Released February 19, 2026, it stands as one of the most content-rich games on the platform. Number 14 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition with the Star-Crossed World expansion, released August 28, 2025. The base game was already one of the best 3D platformers on Switch, and the new expansion adds fresh worlds, new copy abilities, and additional challenge stages. For players who already loved the original, the Switch 2 Edition offers a compelling reason to return. For newcomers, it is simply one of the most polished and joyful platformers available on the new console. At number 15, the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is listed separately here for its performance upgrades, which significantly improve the experience over the original release. Higher resolution output, improved lighting effects, and a more stable frame rate make this the definitive version of an already exceptional game. If you are playing Metroid Prime 4 for the first time, this is the version to get. Number 16 is Split Fiction, a co-op action-adventure from the team behind It Takes Two and Hazel Light Studios. Released on Switch 2 alongside its other platform versions, the game drops two players into a science fiction and fantasy world that constantly shifts its rules and mechanics. Every chapter feels like a different genre entirely, from platforming to shooter to puzzle. The writing is sharp, the pacing is excellent, and it is impossible to play without laughing and occasionally yelling at your co-op partner. At number 17, Resident Evil Requiem brings survival horror to the Switch 2 with the series' trademark tension and resource management. This latest chapter in the long-running franchise features a new protagonist, a new setting, and a story that ties back to the broader mythology of the series. The Switch 2 version handles the demanding visuals impressively, and the portable format adds a uniquely unsettling quality to playing horror games in public. Atmospheric, terrifying, and technically strong. Number 18 is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, bringing the beloved episodic remake to Nintendo hardware for the first time, with the Yuffie chapter included from launch. The game retells the opening chapters of Final Fantasy VII with a modern action RPG combat system, fully voiced cutscenes, and a level of visual fidelity that was previously unavailable on Nintendo consoles. For fans who missed it on PlayStation or PC, this Switch 2 port is a genuine event worth celebrating. At number 19, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition brings CD Projekt Red's massive open-world RPG to the Switch 2, with all DLC included, including the Phantom Liberty expansion. Night City is dense, vibrant, and full of stories to uncover across dozens of hours of content. The Switch 2 port manages the demanding game with solid performance and impressive visual quality for a handheld option. This is one of the most feature-complete versions of the game available anywhere. Number 20 is Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, From Software's open-world action RPG masterpiece arriving on Switch 2 with all content included. The Lands Between is one of the most realized fantasy worlds in modern gaming, and having it portable opens it to an entirely new audience. Combat is deliberate and punishing, exploration rewards patience and curiosity, and the lore is rich enough to keep players theorizing for years. A landmark game now accessible on Nintendo hardware. At number 21, Street Fighter VI brings competitive fighting game excellence to the Switch 2 with its full roster, World Tour mode, and Battle Hub online features. The game plays exceptionally well on the new hardware and maintains a consistent frame rate, critical for competitive play. The drive system combat mechanic adds a layer of strategy that distinguishes this entry from its predecessors. A strong community and regular updates keep the competitive scene thriving well into 2026. Number 22 is EA Sports FC 26, the latest entry in EA's football simulation franchise, offering updated rosters, improved player movement, and a refined career mode. The Switch 2 version delivers a solid portable football experience with all the major leagues and clubs represented. The game modes are extensive, online play is accessible, and the visual improvements over previous Switch versions are immediately noticeable. At number 23, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle arrived on Switch 2 on May 12, 2026, bringing the acclaimed first-person adventure to Nintendo's platform. Players step into the iconic role of the archaeologist hero across a globe-trotting mystery set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. The game emphasizes stealth, puzzle-solving, and environmental storytelling over action, creating a unique adventure experience that feels true to the source material. Number 24 is Star Wars Outlaws Gold Edition, an open-world action-adventure set in the Star Wars universe that puts players in the boots of Kay Vess, an outlaw navigating the criminal underworld between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The Switch 2 version includes all post-launch content and updates. The game features planet exploration, speeder bike chases, and a compelling heist-driven narrative that appeals to Star Wars fans and open-world enthusiasts equally. Rounding out the list at number 25, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a delightful first-party platformer released May 21, 2026. Yoshi ventures into a storybook world where pages have gone missing, and each level reflects a different chapter of the story with a distinct visual style. The game plays with watercolor, sketch, and collage aesthetics that make every world feel handcrafted. It is gentle in difficulty, but rich in detail and charm, making it the perfect game for players of all ages.